Hello, and welcome to the Philosophy on the Internet podcast, a mini series in which we take a look at various online platforms and see the philosophy that is happening on them. I am your host, Professor Anthony David Vernon, and today's topic is philosophy on Discord. Part 1 will feature an interview of sorts with a new Discord user that will simply be going by Mr. Nathan. And then part 2 will be sharing my personal thoughts on philosophy on Discord. I hope that everyone enjoys. Cue the music. We are joined here by one Mr.
Nathan.
Hello, Mr. Nathan, and we'll just simply go with Mr. Nathan. We're going to be focusing on philosophy on Discord in particular. And Nathan, would you like to share sort of your background with philosophy on Discord?
2 weeks ago, I Googled philosophy Discord chat, and this was the first result. I found the first result and joined it, and I've been having a lot of fun because I've never really talked about philosophy like in a conversational setting. I've never had like debates, it's super fun, and it's probably going to be like a lifelong passion to like talk about philosophy in that kind of setting.
So let's walk through how Discord sort of works. I would say the description I like to use to understand Discord, it's kind of like shoving Zoom and forums together, where you have this ability to chat with other people live in sort of a larger Zoom meeting, but you also have forums where you have all these hyper, specified topics put together. Would you say that's a good description, or is there something that could be added on to that description to help people understand how Discord works and how philosophy could be engaged with on Discord?
Yeah, that's how it works. Well, as some nuance to like the voice channels, like there's all levels in the voice channel. Like there's more casual, there's more serious. I mean, it just depends on when you go there. Like there's a possibility you can find exactly what you're looking for because there's so many people there. It's always fun because whenever I join, it's kind of a different kind of a thing. And that's just some nuance with the VC. I haven't spent too much time on the text.
And there's certainly, areas where you can organize more formal meetings, right? Where you can have only particular members in, or you can have open voice channels. So Discord is always open. It's not like a Zoom thing where you have to open, the Zoom meeting and it's always kind of restricted. It's kind of, always there. The philosophy chat server is always open, and you could either add text to it, or you can jump into a voice call if there's other people open for a voice call. I believe I have that correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what made Discord so approachable? Like you've been saying that you've had a good experience on the Discord servers so far, and we could talk about which particular servers you joined, but what has made Discord a really good place to start engaging in philosophical topics?
It's very easy to just, I mean, like I said, I just clicked the first thing, and then I was in a Discord server, and there are all these very interesting people that I could talk to.
So, what sort of servers have you joined as opposed to, there's some, like, have certain servers caught your interest, or have you just stuck to one particular server?
Well, the philosophy chat in particular is there's always something going on there. Yeah, and I just feel like it's so free, the way the conversation kind of flows, like from topic to topic, and everybody's kind of, not everybody's kind of kind, but it kind of flows. I mean, I don't know, I've only been doing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, there any sort of topics that particularly dominate as opposed to others just in your short time on Discord?
We talk about subjectivity a lot.
You mentioned previously that there are some topics that haven't been as good, right? That you mentioned that there's been some bad discussions. Is this a common tendency that you've seen so far?
Yeah, I could go on a rant right now.
Well, go off on the rant.
I feel like in debate settings, or any conversation about philosophy, you kind of explain your ideas and you provide examples and metaphors and you try to kind of flesh out what you're saying. And I feel like what that looks like sometimes is people paint these like two-dimensional images, and it's how sensational the images are and how impassioned it might make anybody who's listening feel. It's really frustrating to me that that's how it works because it's so flawed and so subjective. And maybe if we had like probabilities or like statistics with us on all time at all times.
Is there something about Discord as a format, the way the app is set up, that invites debate as opposed to, let's say, philosophical discussion or sort of, readings, or is it something about the program in particular?
I guess it depends on the people. I just wish it was more exploratory, I guess.
Do you think that there's something within the app that restricts that exploratory nature, or is it just simply the users that disallow for the exploratory nature?
I feel like it kind of self-selects. To some degree, I think it self-selects for people who want to be right. Like exploration is just like a tag. I find myself like getting into that mode where I'm like, I want to be right. I want to be right.
So ultimately, I think you would say that overall things are a positive in regards to engaging with philosophy on Discord. And do you think it's a positive towards creating new philosophical ideas, like it is a platform where people could come up with and engage in new ideas? Or do you think there's something within kind of the Discord space that's going to leave people either hashing out old ideas or maybe even being reductive in a particular sense?
When I'm not using like established terminology and I'm trying to like make my thought experiments, set up axioms, I feel like I'm met with so much resistance. Like everybody's arguing for truth, and I'm not looking for truth. I'm looking for productive and practical perspectives to take and see what happens when you take those perspectives and how it can benefit your life. There's something about that people don't like. New ideas and new perspectives are kind of almost met with resistance.
But could it possibly have something to do with the application itself and the way the application works, or do you think it's something more towards the user base once again?
I think it's more of like a people issue, just because I see it in myself, I see it everywhere. And as for Discord, like it's very easy to join Discord and get in a conversation. If you join and it's your first time and you see this like big debate and it's like they're arguing and it's not indicative of the whole thing, right? I mean, as much as as it's a problem with people, like it's only one facet of the whole thing. I spoke very absolutist earlier, but I have very productive conversations where everybody's down to explore and we're discovering new ideas. Like both are there.
Discord, obviously, it's not philosophy focused. It is mainly a application for gamers. At least that's how it's advertised, but it's used for, pretty much everything under the sun. But is there a way in which, I guess, server builders or even Discord itself could improve in such a way to not lead towards, just these kind of fiery debates and lead towards more productive forms of philosophy, be it those who are building servers more likely, but maybe even Discord as a general application?
I've met a few people trying to turn it into something more like Reddit thing where it's a community based around philosophy, like, and trying to like fiddling around with the Discord API, altering its structure because it's pretty open. There's so many possibilities with it. They have so many tools you can use. I heard one idea where it's like an automated debate system.
Yeah, and a lot of this could be potentially done because Discord has a lot of open source coding. Also, a lot of bots can be put in that can serve various roles and functions. So yeah, these things are certainly possible, which is one of the benefits, right? We've talked about how you can get to servers that have very particular ideas, and then within that server, you can literally create rooms and voice channels and, kind of text forum type of things where you can get very specific topics. And then furthermore, you have a degree of open source coding and bots that can be used. One question I want to ask you for sure that may seem a little bit large, especially for a new Discord user, but is Discord the future of philosophy? Is discord the future of philosophical debate rather than the orators on the streets of Athens? Is discord going to be the place where all the new, young, budding, hot philosophers are going to come to test out their philosophical chops?
I think that's the ideal. I feel like in general we're leading towards decentralization of power and ideas. Suddenly we have everything at the tip of our fingertips, and usually information that would be only access to, going way back, people who had access to the Library of Alexandria, right? Um, but now with Discord, it's so easy to join. It gives opportunities. Of course, it might be less professional than a like an academic setting. I feel like Discord is just, this kind of system is just starting out. I'm a perfect example of how somebody can find their passion just by clicking a link and going to a Discord server. And I feel like that's a larger pattern. Like, more people are being able to participate in philosophical discussions, and I think there's a lot of people with good ideas that just don't have a platform to speak them. And that's kind of what Discord allows for.
One of the things that was most frequently mentioned in the interview section of the first part is the ease of access to Discord. And one of the benefits of this has been the high levels of internationalism within various Discord chats and servers. You have people all around the world coming together and speaking on philosophical ideas. For example, the Living Philosophy server is run by a South African professor of philosophy. And so while you have a dominance of English in these Discord servers, you have plenty of people from various countries and global contexts that have perhaps English as a second language. And even if it's not English as a second language, you still have individuals speaking from the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and so on. One of the other things that makes this access important is some of the other systems that are offered by Discord itself. It's very easy to go about file sharing on Discord in a way that's not simply possible for YouTube and Reddit in regards to the rapid succession of file sharing and the chats that come along with it. You can share all sorts of files, links, anything from PDFs, doc files, MP3s, MP4s even, upon a Discord server. Not only can these files be sent privately, they can also be posted to public servers, which allow people to access them in the future. There are also live streaming and screen sharing services offered by Discord. You can do this within chats, or you can get into private calls and do this sort of stuff one-on-one. But either way, there is a live streaming and screen sharing component with Discord, which allows people to go about reading groups where they live stream and screen share a text that they are all reading together. One of the things that was noted in the chat is a sense of one-upmanship that does occur. And I could say that this is in part true for Discord. I can say that this is in part true as I have been given mod services on the philosophy chat that was mentioned in our conversation. And so as a moderator, I've seen a lot of negative things go on. But I can say that the vast majority of the chats are good, as mentioned in the interview, but there is a culture of one-upmanship. There is a sense of surprise when you admit that you are wrong about a topic or a given issue. And so this one-upmanship is there, but it's not necessarily a Discord problem. It is more of a human problem, but it seems to come out to a high degree on the philosophy chats on Discord. This may be true for other topics on Discord, maybe political servers, maybe even historical servers, but nonetheless, it would also be true, and is certainly true, for the philosophy servers. Nonetheless, what we have with Discord is a huge potentiality to have a sort of digitized version of what the French cafes once were for philosophy, or what the Viennese cafes were for psychology and philosophy. These places where people can come together and chat about very important and particular ideas, or maybe not even important ideas, just philosophical ideas in general. Because of the ease of access, you have a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different credentials. I am thrilled when I am in deep discussion with philosophical newbies, and even more thrilled when philosophical newbies disprove me on a particular notion. Just because I come in as a professor into Discord chats does not give me an air of superiority. And I'm not the only professor on Discord chats. I previously mentioned the owner of the Living Philosophy server, right? There's this regularity to a larger degree than you would expect of adjunct professors, PhD students, master's students coming into these philosophical chats, because a lot of times people in their home environments may not have access to a community that offers philosophical discussion. There's not a cafe to go to where people are chatting philosophy. Most likely it's people doing some sort of work-related project on their laptop or iPad. And so Discord fills a space that once was, admittedly in a digitized version, and for some this may create some problems, but nonetheless, while it may be sort of imperfect in the sense that it's irreplaceable of that human contact, in some ways there's also some benefits because there are simply more people to access, more types of people to access, and thus more types of information that can be accessed. And so I do have personal bias on these matters, but ultimately there's a large potentiality for philosophy on Discord, and it may be most representative of what philosophy can do online and how philosophy is portrayed online. It is arguably the platform with the most philosophical variation and the most philosophical accessibility. While it was mentioned in the interview that the main topic discussed is subjectivity, I would have to say from my own lens that that's not even close to the only thing covered on these topic boards. You have everything from Eastern philosophy to meta-ethics to Heidegger to Wittgenstein to South American philosophy. There is simply something for everyone. And that's really the biggest potentiality on here, is this convergence of various ideas all hosted on the same place and places within that larger place. So there's this huge ability with Discord to get hyper-specified in what one is seeking, or to be hyper-generalized in the philosophy that one seeks. And I think that being said, this is what makes Discord really shine through, and I think really gives the listener a solid entry into understanding how philosophy works on Discord. While there are not a lot of specifics, it's very difficult to get specific with philosophy on Discord because there is no one thing that philosophy on Discord means. I want to thank you all for your time and giving this a listen, and I want to thank Philosophy Today for hosting this episode of Philosophy on the Internet. Feel free to check out the rest of Philosophy Today's YouTube channel and go to Philosophy Today's Medium page. Adios.